Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom. On today's show, Duane Toews visits with Davie Stephens, Vice President of the American Soybean Association, to talk about the challenges the soybean industry faces locally and around the world. Then enjoy this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Next, Kyle Bauer visits with Paul Burke with the US Soybean Export Council to talk about trade and tariffs. Then it's this week's Kansas Farm Bureau update and, of course, Plain Talk with Kyle and Duane. Stay with us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome to Farm Factor. Up first today, Duane Toews and Davie Stephens talk about challenges in the soybean industry.
Duane Toews joining you once again here on Ag AM in Kansas, and an opportunity to catch up with Davie Stephens, Vice President, American Soybean Association. Davie, it's been a challenging year, and I know we say that all the time, it seems like, in agriculture. We just don't know what that challenge is going to come from, whether it be from markets, production, or Mother Nature, if you will. We've kind of had the triple storm this year for a lot of guys.
It has been the triple storm, and we're trying to weather that right now. And so, you know, we look at trade and we look at the Farm Bill, but we're getting hit by Mother Nature really hard right now. And we're starting to see quality issues, not only in my state, but in the surrounding states with what that quality is getting discounted more and more as we move forward in this harvest.
We think about soybeans as an industry. We took that big step this year and outpaced corn in acres of plantings. However, the harvested side, well, that's been a bit of a challenge for a lot of guys across the country.
It's been a harvest, and it can be. It's just specific in certain states and certain areas, and we saw that with the weather patterns this summer when it came to rain, and how crops, you know, were able to be planted in the spring. So that's making a lot of things, those estimates really be altered, and we are seeing that. And I'm already reading reports next year of 81 to 82 million planted acres as opposed to 89.
We think about the opportunities for exports. We've had some issues. Obviously, China would be the 800-pound gorilla, so to speak. Boy, it'd sure be nice to get some headway in that regard.
Yes, and we hope we are making that headway. We kind of wondered about this, you know, when they talked about the 232 and the 301 back in December and January, and that started to move forward. They said soybeans would be a possibility, and so we started working with the administration, planning on that, and since they've been implemented, we continue to work with the administration. And when I say that, you know, from the White House, Secretary Perdue, Undersecretary McKinney, Chief Economist Rob Johansson. So we are working with our administration to try to get this resolved, because that's been a 40-year cultivated market for us.
And ultimately a profitable market for us, not only in terms of dollars, but the amount of bushels that were absorbed by China in that regard. That's a lot of beans to try and find a new home for.
Oh, it's exactly a lot of beans. And when you look at the soybean production in the United States, we export 60% out of this country. 31% roughly goes to China. So 1 out of every 3 rolls, you know, as you hear told a lot. And when you look at China, in around 1997, we sent them around $400 million in product. Fast forward to 2017, that's grown to $14 billion. So that is a big player in the market. But then you have Mexico and Canada also. They're big players in our market that take a lot of the rest of those exports.
All right, thanks to Davie Stephens, Vice President, American Soybean Association, joining us here on Ag AM in Kansas. Jamie, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Duane. Folks, stay tuned for this week's Kansas Soybean Update. That's coming up next, right here on Farm Factor.
To see this show and past episodes of Ag AM in Kansas, go online to agaminkansas.com.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Soybean Update.
This is the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Dennis Hoopy, Director of Field Services for Kansas Soybeans, joins us. And Dennis, the Kansas Soybean Commission and Kansas Soybean Association are going to be a part of this year's Kansas Commodity Classic as a new co-sponsor and co-host of the event on January 24th in Manhattan.
Greg, we are looking forward to this. We have, of course, always had our own Soybean Expo, which is our annual meeting, but we feel very privileged that the other grain commodities, wheat, corn, and grain sorghum, saw fit to invite us to participate because it takes all of agriculture, all of the grain commodities working together, and this happens to be an event that we can work together to highlight Kansas agriculture.
It will take place Thursday, January 24th at the K-State Alumni Center in Manhattan, and it's a full program this year, too.
With registration starting at 7:30 in the morning, and we'll kick it off at 8:30 with a welcome. But as usual, we have the political side of the meeting, which the governor's office has been invited to participate. Senator Moran is scheduled to be there. And also Congressman Marshall will give his outlook as far as from the House side, his viewpoint.
Weather, which is always going to be important, how we're going to look here for the rest of winter into early spring.
And soybeans can clearly relate to this because with the fall we've had, weather had become a very big player. But weather is important. The farmers always enjoy coming in, learning what the predictions are for the coming year, and so we look forward to that.
And talk about the Farm Bill, or in this case, the implementation of the new Farm Bill, too.
We're having a farm panel, which David Shim, FSA Director, is going to attend, and there will be others on the panel, but they're going to talk about what the benefits, what protections are in this Farm Bill for the Kansas farmers.
Always have to talk about the markets, and Matt Roberts will be doing that.
Yes, he's coming in from Ohio, and we look forward to having him because sometimes it's great to get a perspective from outside of Kansas on the worldview of what's going on in the markets.
People need to register because there will be a lunch that will be served.
Well, it's always nice to have a count, and they can go to the KansasCommodityClassic.com website to do their registration. And so we hope that people will register. We know we expect a big crowd because last year we were near capacity, and we look forward to another large crowd.
That is Dennis Hoopy, who is Director of Field Services for Kansas Soybeans, joins us on the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Learn more at kansassoybeans.org. For Kansas Soybeans, I'm Greg Akagi.
Hope you enjoyed this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Stay with us after the break for more Farm Factor as Kyle Bauer visits with Paul Burke.
What if sustainability were synonymous with US soy? If energy efficiency, water quality, and soil health help define US soy's value, that future is here, the time is now. To meet end-user demands, the Soybean Checkoff is committing to sustainability that's achievable, worthwhile, and enduring. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
All over the country, more and more communities are making the change to biodiesel made from US soybean oil. And the decision continues, improving the health and welfare for millions of Americans while adding billions to our national economy.
Kim Mandarin with Hardy Insurance. I'm here to help you with all of your farm and ranch needs. When it comes to protecting your operation and your family, you need a name you can trust at a price you can afford. Call me today or visit hardyaviationins.com.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but yet we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we're glad to answer it and work with you.
This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
We're back. Now we learn more about global soybean trade with Kyle Bauer and Paul Burke.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer. I get an opportunity to visit with Paul Burke. He's with the US Soybean Export Council. And wow, right now you have a tough job with all the tariffs that are out there. I mean, certainly long term, it appears the administration is trying to make things better, but the short term is a big challenge.
Well, definitely it's a challenge, and it's very clear to soybean farmers throughout the United States that we do not have the immediate export demand that would support higher prices, and is causing them to have a less than favorable basis, but also up in the upper Midwest, even being able to deliver their soybeans to the country elevators or other originators. So we have a big challenge. The bright side of it is that soybean exports are moving. They're just, China was a big shop vac of demand in the the September through December time period. We don't have that now. But other markets that are traditional markets for U.S. soybeans in the European Union and other parts of Asia, they're buying a lot of our soybeans. We think we'll have a 90% market share in those markets by throughout the year. At the end of the year, we will export as many soybeans as we did last year. The problem is it's just not happening fast enough right now. We're doing everything we can to address that issue. We have a short-term mitigation program in place right now, where a lot of the activities that we would have done in March, we're moving into November and December and January to bring buyers and sellers closer together. We're going to be bringing teams of buyers from Asia to the Pacific Northwest to show them the opportunities to buy attractively priced soybeans from the PNW. So we're doing everything we can to mitigate the situation in the short run, and we're also changing our investment strategy to develop long-term markets to address these changing trade flows.
So who is a U.S. Soybean Export Federation? Who makes up the membership?
Well, the primary sponsors or investors in the U.S. Soybean Export Council is the U.S. Soybean Checkoff, as well as the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Foreign Agricultural Service, and those funds come to us through the American Soybean Association. We also have about 100 members that are exporters, as well as allied industries and state soybean boards. Those are the investors and our members. But since we received those funds from the checkoff, basically we work on behalf of all U.S. soybean farmers.
Truly, though, when you're looking at new uses, for instance, aquaculture has become a nice user and seems to have huge upside potential. A lot of that work is through works of yours.
Absolutely. You take a market like China, 25 years ago, zero soy was used in aquaculture rations. Now, Probably about 9 to 10 million metric tons of soy is used in the aquaculture industry. So, and that would not have taken place if it had not been the investment of the U.S. soybean farmers and the U.S. government in the aquaculture program in China. Now we're taking that experience and we're replicating it in what we see as high growth markets such as Egypt, India, Africa, and Latin America.
Visiting with Paul Burke. He is with the US Soybean Export Council. US Soybean Export Council. This is Kyle Bauer reporting. Back to you, Jamie.
Thanks, Kyle. Stay tuned here to Farm Factor for the Kansas Farm Bureau update, coming up right after this break.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn. For livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Earlier in my life, I rode bucking horses in rodeos, and my shoulders took such a beating, and that was probably the reason for having several previous surgeries on both shoulders. About a year ago, I decided that I didn't want to have another surgery, and so I contacted Kansas Regenerative Medicine, took their treatment process. It was relatively pain-free. Now, after 8 months, my shoulders have healed to the point where I think I'm probably 90 to 95% of normal. It takes a couple of months to start to see results and feel real progress. That continued to increase gradually until now at approximately 8 months. And I'm extremely pleased. I've got full range of motion. I can lift weights, I can throw, I can do a lot of things that I couldn't do without a lot of pain previously. So I'm tickled to death with the results, and I'd recommend this process to anyone.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Today on our Kansas Farm Bureau update, meet the Reed family, one of 10 families honored to be named a Kansas Farm Bureau Farm Family of the Year.
Ryan and Tracy Reed farm in Gray County. They own 1,500 acres of irrigated land that produces corn and soybeans, as well as 12,000 acres of dry land, which produces wheat, sorghum, and corn. They utilize strip-till and no-till to manage soil compaction on the farm. Ryan serves as the Vice President of the Gray County Farm Bureau. Both Ryan and Tracy have served on the State YF&R Committee and enjoy helping with agriculture in the classroom events. Ryan and Tracy are also active in their community. They serve their local church as youth group leaders and have served in those roles for 12 years. They are engaged in their local school district, with Ryan serving on the USD 371 school board and Tracy serving as the head girls volleyball coach. The couple believes farmers focus on innovation and maximizing the potential of their operation. Organizations like Kansas Farm Bureau will advocate for them in Topeka and Washington, D.C.
Stay with us. We'll be back after the break with Plain Talk.
KFRM is one of the largest farm radio stations in the nation, dedicated to informing and entertaining rural listeners from northern Oklahoma to southwestern Nebraska. You can catch KFRM in many ways. Of course, 550 on the AM dial, streaming at kfrm.com, or on your smartphone by going to the TuneIn Radio app, or on Ag AM in Kansas on Tuesdays and Facebook every day of the week. KFRM, tune us in. You'll be glad you did.
I'm Derek Sawyer, and I'm a fourth-generation Kansas farmer. I've known all my life I wanted to farm this land near McPherson, which was my grandfather's before me.
I'm Katie Sawyer, a journalist who never dreamed I'd live my life on the farm until I met Derek.
We've married our worlds to help educate consumers about the rural lifestyle and all that farmers do to provide safe and affordable food.
Watch our story and the stories of other young Kansas food producers at kansaslivingmagazine.com/meetafarmer.
Tarwater Farm and Home is a 40-year-old local family-owned business. Clothing for work and play, seeds and feeds, boots, toys for the kids, and tools you'll need for around the house and farm. And a service department to keep them in top running order. It's a big store, so take some time to see what they have for your farm and home. Tarwater's everyday pricing is like others' sale prices. When you need it, they've got it. Tarwater Farm and Home, 4107 North Topeka Boulevard. This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Welcome back. Now let's see what Kyle and Duane are up to on Plain Talk.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer with Plain Talk with Duane Toews.
There he is, live, in person.
And personable.
In studio.
Uh-huh.
Your fact or fiction question of the day, Kyle Bauer. It's been a few years back for you. Your 10th anniversary is known as the Year of Copper. Fact or fiction?
Oh, boy, that doesn't sound right. The first year's paper.
Right. Then it's like wood, I think, is year
like
2.
Wood? Okay.
It's like paper, wood,
and
glass.
25th is silver, and of course 50 is golden, and 75 is diamond.
Look at you go, the big ones.
And yeah, but now you said copper, 10 year. I'll go with true.
That's false.
Okay.
It's tin.
Tin. Yeah. Not even copper.
Not even copper.
Tin.
Tin.
If you made it to 10 years, tin can will do.
Just go grab one out of the cupboard.
Get your bride a can of peaches.
I was thinking,
do you
those
like
little
sausages?
Fruit? Do I like canned
like a
fruit?
Can of peaches or a can of pears? I don't mean it's home canned.
Right.
I mean the ones you buy at the.
I do eat some of that. I gotta be honest. My wife started buying some stuff that's more expensive, but it's in the cold case and it's in a plastic cup.
So it's frozen. It's not frozen.
It's not frozen.
But it's not canned.
Well,
see, canned, you boil it till it's
right. This tastes really good. And I know I'm paying. I think she's paying for the little cup, probably what the whole 16-ounce can would cost.
Well,
and you're getting considerably less.
But for a man like you, money's no object. Well, my wife, on the other hand, buys the dented cans.
The dented can. Does she get them for a dime off?
Exactly. No, I'm the one. Deal? I'm the one that always goes through and looks through the dented can thing.
Really?
And you're right. It's like a dime off.
Do they give you something off?
Oh yeah. No. There's you shop all the time.
I know, but I've never
big grocery cart with dented cans.
Oh no, I've picked them out of the deal.
There's a great big grocery.
The one
cart.
down on the end.
Yeah,
that's the outdated stuff.
Well, yeah,
and
it's
the dented
canned as long as it's not. It doesn't have a hole in the.
As long as the can is still good. Here's the problem though with the dented cans, depending on how severely they're dented.
Good.
Well, it's hard to get the lid off. When you run it through the can opener.
Well, we don't have a can opener. I use a hammer and chisel anyway, so it's easy. It's easy to get them open that way.
I didn't realize how fluffy I had raised my children.
They didn't know how to open a can without a can opener?
I have a manual. Clamp it on the top, spin it with your hand.
And not electric.
Not electric. And one or two of my children were like, we got to get you a can opener for Christmas. And I'm like, really?
What's wrong with this one?
I have one right there in the drawer. It works just fine.
If we have had anything but a manual one, it's been so long, I don't remember it. My wife is a manual can opener person.
I remember Mom had one at one point.
My mom had an electric.
And I am relatively confident it was a gift from someone else and wasn't purchased in home. Because like you say, it would have been wasted money. You have one in the drawer that works just fine.
Yeah. If I had my way, we'd have the electric. I don't want to work up a sweat opening my can of peaches.
Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom, and I hope you enjoyed today's show. See you next week on Farm Factor.
Close captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.